8 o'clock, this is Channel 5, KTLA Los Angeles, with a reminder not to waste energy. How many lights are on in your house right now?
This is KTLA, Channel 5, Tribune Broadcasting in Los Angeles.
KTLA News with live cameras in the air and on the ground. KTLA covers Southern California with the news live on 5. This is the 6:30 edition of KTLA News with live cameras in the air and on the ground. Western America's first television station brings you now the news live on 5. Now, here is Joseph Bentley.
Good evening.
KTLA camera crews rush to you each night the news of this day on News Picture 530.
This is the Big 5 News, with the Channel 5 News team of Kevin Sanders and Barney Morris. Commentary by Tom Retton. Sports with Tom Harmon. And now, here is Kevin Sanders.
An 11-year-old girl was shot to death in Malibu today.
Stand by for news. It's next on Channel 5.
Live and in color from Los Angeles, Channel 5 presents the George Putnam News with Hal Fishman, Tom Harmon, and Larry McCormick, and exclusive reports from the world's only telecopter and telemobile, plus comprehensive news coverage from air and sea patrol in the fastest moving news report in television. And now, here is George Putnam.
Thank you, Steve Dunn.
A home right here in Los Angeles appears to be inhabited by a poltergeist. After 50 years of service, the great white steamship may soon sail away for good. There's good news in the RTD strike. And police today made a blanket search of radio station KPFK looking for the alleged communique from the self-proclaimed New World Liberation Front. And labor wins in Britain. I'm Ktla Roberts, and this is The World at 10.
The World at 10, a complete summary of the day's events. All the news, where it happens, when it happens. The most comprehensive news report in the Southland. With Ktla Roberts and the Channel 5 News team. Now, The World at 10. Brought to you in part by Harris & Frank, the 38 fashion stores with the famous brands for men and women.
Ladies and gentlemen, there appear to be some very strange things happening in one Los Angeles home tonight, and those involved say the unusual events have been going on for a couple of weeks. Stan Chambers has an exclusive report. Stan?
Cleek, there is a very frightened family in Los Angeles tonight.
Good evening. Rewards totaling $140,000 are being offered or proposed for information leading to the arrest of the Los Angeles Strangler. And we're going to show you what some women are doing to protect themselves in dangerous situations. They're learning the art of fighting off attackers.
Tighter regulations are being proposed under which the government will pay for sterilization operations. And former President Gerald Ford, speaking here in Los Angeles, has some comments about the upcoming preliminary peace conference in Cairo.
Governor Brown has returned to Los Angeles from London, but this time he did not take the cheapy flight. And John Wayne is back in familiar surroundings, working for a new outfit, one he says he can be proud of.
Tonight on News Watch with Hal Fishman, Marilyn Devon, and Larry McCormick. Mudslides take a heavy toll in Sweden. A scientific breakthrough in the use of artificial genes. And 3 top awards go to Channel 5's News Watch.
Reward money for the Los Angeles Strangler will total $140,000 by tomorrow if all the money proposed is actually approved.
Channel 5, News at 10, the #1 primetime news hour in Los Angeles. Now, Emmy Award-winning Hal Fishman, Debbie Davison, Larry McCormick, Joe Butita with sports, and the entire Channel 5 news team.
Good evening.
Channel 5 News at 10, the #1 primetime news hour in Los Angeles. Now, Emmy Award-winning Hal Fishman, Debbie Davison,
Larry McCormick, Steve Rohr with sports, and the entire Channel 5 news team.
Good evening.
Channel 5 News at 10, the #1 primetime news hour in Los Angeles. Now, Emmy Award-winning Hal Fishman, Debbie Davison, Larry McCormick, Keith Olbermann with sports, and the entire Channel 5 news team. Channel 5 News at 10, the #1 primetime news hour in Los Angeles. Now, Larry McCormick, Giselle Fernandez, Ed Arnold with Sports Page, and the entire Channel 5 news team.
Good evening. It is the first day of November in 1986.
Channel 5 News at 10, the #1 primetime news hour in Los Angeles. Now, award-winning Hal Fishman, T.U. Lake, Larry McCormick, Keith Olbermann with sports, and the entire Channel 5 news team. Now, the #1 primetime news hour in Los Angeles. Channel 5 News at 10. Award-winning Hal Fishman, Jen Caro, Larry McCormick, Keith Olbermann with sports, and the entire Channel 5 news team. Now, the #1 primetime news hour in Los Angeles. Channel 5 News at 10. Award-winning Hal Fishman, Jan Caro, Larry McCormick, Stu Nahan with sports, and the entire Channel 5 news team. Now, the #1 primetime news hour in Los Angeles. Channel 5 News at 10. Award-winning Hal Fishman, Jan Caro, Larry McCormick, Stu Nahan with sports, and the entire Channel 5 news team.
Good evening, everybody. Hal Fishman is on vacation.
Now, the #1 primetime news hour in Los Angeles. Channel 5 News at 10. Larry McCormick, Minerva Perez, Ed Arnold with sports, and the entire award-winning Channel 5 news team.
Good evening, everyone. Larry McCormick has the night off.
Now, the #1 primetime news hour in Los Angeles. Award-winning Hal Fishman, Jan Caro, Larry McCormick, and Stu Nahan with sports. Channel 5 News at 10. Now, the #1 primetime news hour in Los Angeles. Award-winning Hal Fishman, Jan Caro, Larry McCormick, Stu Nahan with sports. Channel 5 News at 10. Live, the #1 morning news program in Southern California. Barbara Beck, Carlos Amezcua, Mark Christie, Eric Spillman, Michelle Ruiz, Sam Rubin, Jim Newman, and Jennifer York in Skycam 5. This is the KTLA Morning News. Live from Los Angeles, Michelle Ruiz, Carlos Amezcua, Mark Christie, Eric Spillman, Jim Newman, and Jennifer York in Skycam 5. This is the KTLA Morning News Early Edition. Live, the #1 morning news program in Southern California. Barbara Beck, Carlos Amezcua, Mark Christie, Eric Spillman, Michelle Ruiz, Sam Rubin, Jim Newman, Gail Anderson, and Jennifer York in Skycam 5. This is the KTLA Morning News. the #1 primetime news hour in Los Angeles. Award-winning Hal Fishman, Jan Carl, Larry McCormick, Stu Nahan with sports. Channel 5 News at 10. And now Channel 5 News at 10. Here's Larry McCormick.
Good evening.
Now, Channel 5 News at 10. Here's Hal Fishman.
Good evening.
This is the KTLA News Early Edition with Carlos Amezcua, Sharon Tay, Mark Krisky, Eric Spillman, Jim Newman, and Jennifer York in Skycam 5. Live from Hollywood, this is the KTLA Morning News with Carlos Amezcua, Barbara Beck, Mark Krisky, Sharon Tay, Eric Spillman, Sam Rubin, Jim Newman, Gail Anderson, and Jennifer York in Skycam 5. This is KTLA News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Larry McCormick.
And I'm Sharon Tay.
This is the Southland's #1 choice for news. KTLA News at 10. This is KTLA News at 10 with Larry McCormick, Marta Waller, and Ed Arnold with sports. This is KTLA News at 10 with Hal Fishman, Terry Anzer, Larry McCormick, Marta Waller, Roland Galvan, weather, Mindy Verbano, entertainment, and Tony Hernandez with sports. This is the KTLA Morning News, first edition.
The rain's over, but the damage is only beginning to be assessed.
This is the KTLA Morning News, first edition.
It destroyed more than 50 homes over the weekend, and now firefighters are hoping to have the Corral Canyon blaze surrounded by today. However, they are still trying to determine how the fire started. Good morning, everybody. I'm Cher Calvin.
Good morning. I'm Lou Parker.
Live from Hollywood, this is the KTLA Morning News.
Good morning. Wow,
Good to
what a
see
beautiful day, huh?
Thank you
Already.
for sitting down and having a little moment with us as you drink your first cup of coffee this morning. Good morning, and talk about a hard day at the office. I'm Ktla Pereira. Good morning.
Megan Henderson. Yes, good morning to you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Live from Hollywood, this is the KTLA Morning Show.
Breaking news, an elderly gunman opens fire inside the Holocaust Memorial Museum in the nation's capital. We're just getting in new information about the suspect.
Here in L.A., police are on the hunt for a rapist after a young girl is kidnapped and attacked.
And we're live on the scene of a nasty pileup on Interstate 15. Dozens of cars involved.
This is the KTLA 5 News at 1 p.m.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the KTLA News at 1 p.m. Frank Buckley has the day off. I'm Eric Spillman.
And I'm Ktla Pereira.
This is the KTLA 5 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Micah Ullman.
And I'm Victoria Racagna. Welcome to the KTLA News at 6.
This is the KTLA News at 6:30, Southern California's only local news at 6:30.
Good evening, I'm Emmett Miller.
Good evening, I'm Hal Fishman.
I'm Leela Feinstein.
This is the Emmy Award-winning KTLA Prime News.
Good evening. I'm Leila Feinstein.
And I'm Emmett Miller.
It's like Valentine's Day. You messed it up. But just to be fair,
that's right.
we all show up and we're like, hey, nice stuff. Hey, nice stuff.
Yeah, but definitely.
Good morning to you. I'm Chris Schauble. Welcome to the early edition of the KTLA 5 Morning News.
And I'm Lynette Romero in this morning for Megan Henderson. She'll be back tomorrow, but
Good morning and welcome to KTLA Morning News at 8. I'm Michaela Pereira.
Good morning on this Thursday. The week is flying by. Welcome to the 9 o'clock hour.
Hello, everybody. I'm Rick Chambers.
And I'm Mary Beth McDade. The KTLA 5 News at 6 starts right now.
Well, it's almost Carmageddon again. At least that's how some drivers are describing the lane closures on the 405 again this weekend.
Good evening. I'm Cher Calvin. Micah has the night off.
KTLA 5 Sports Final, powered by your Southern California Ford dealer.
Now at 11, a disturbing discovery inside a company bathroom. Workers find a hidden camera. We've got the exclusive details.
Plus, an officer hospitalized after a violent confrontation with a motorist, and it's all caught on video.
If you're going to die, you're going to die. If I would have let this man go, he would be free today.
And the victim of yesterday's road rage shooting speaks out about the terrifying ordeal, now on the news at 11. Good evening, I'm Micah Ullman.
And I'm Lou Parker, in tonight for Cher Calvin. Women at one Southern California business are outraged tonight after learning someone was spying on them whenever they took a bathroom break.
Good evening, I'm Micah Ullman with Lou Parker tonight. Breaking news off the top on the 710 freeway in Long Beach. A pedestrian has been hit.
Welcome to the KTLA 5 News at 7. Good morning, I'm Frank Buckley.
Good morning, I'm Jessica Holmes. Happening now, a massive show of support for the family of Sergeant Steve Owen as hundreds begin to gather for the deputy's memorial service.
Donald Trump facing a slew of new allegations this morning that he groped and kissed women as Hillary Clinton's campaign comes under fire for allegedly mocking Catholics.
And getting through security at LAX is about to get faster. How you could soon scoot past the slowpokes.
And it could be the most epic tattoo of all time. Or is it a sign of the times? That's coming up.
But first, let's get to Ginger for a check of the traffic. Good morning.
Hi, guys. Yes, good morning to you as well. I would say that we were off to a good start, but it has been very tough. But some of the news is getting better. Mark Hono is in Sky 5 HD, and this has been a tough ride also, Mark.
It sure has. The
path to fame and Hollywood royalty.
Hello, everybody. I'm Rick Chambers, in tonight for Michael Ullman.
And I'm Cher Calvin. Hollywood in shock tonight with the sudden passing of a Hollywood legend. Just one day after her daughter, Carrie Fisher, passed away, iconic actress Debbie Reynolds has died after suffering an apparent stroke. She was 84.
Yeah, we have team coverage tonight. Mary Beth McDade is live with reaction from some of the fans. But we want to begin with KTLA 5's Doug Kolk here in the studio with a look at the amazing life and career of this Hollywood legend, Debbie Reynolds. Doug?
Well, Rick and Cher, Debbie Reynolds is widely referred to as one of the most popular actors of the 50s and 60s. Now, of course, she made headlines just yesterday when her daughter, Carrie Fisher, passed away. And then today, just as she was planning her funeral, Reynolds herself suffered a stroke and died.
Good morning. I'm Lauren Lister, live in South LA, where police are searching for a suspect or suspects after a 78-year-old grandmother is found dead in her home. We'll hear from a family member coming up.
There's new clues in the search for a killer. Some surveillance photos just released from a shooting in which a 16-year-old girl was shot on her way home from church.
And Orange County fire officials under fire. A new report criticizes the department for its handling of a destructive wildfire. A look at the mistakes that were made and what officials are doing to make sure it doesn't happen again.
And good Saturday morning. I'm Liberty Chan. Talking about your weather, could not be nicer out there. A little bit foggy though to start you off, but we will have a lot of sunshine and warm temperatures. Slightly cooler though compared to yesterday. Your full 7-day forecast, including your Easter Day forecast, coming up.
Good morning. Welcome to the Ktla Morning News. It is 6 a.m. I'm Lynette Romero.
I'm Chris Porras. Very good to have you along this morning. There's a car that has ended up really not where it's supposed to be. The car on...
Now at 6:30, a Santa Ana business owner outraged after being fined. The mess she says homeless people made that left her paying the price. Hurricane Michael is intensifying, barreling toward Florida. The storm being called a dangerous major hurricane that's set to smack the Gulf Coast. But first, a shocking update on one of the worst motor vehicle accidents in the U.S. in nearly a decade. Now on the news at 6:30. Good evening, I'm Micah Ullman. Tonight we are learning more about the 20 victims killed in the crash and the checkered past of the limo company they hired. As James Ford reports, the driver did not have the proper license and the limo itself failed inspection.
On a dangerous attacker in South Los Angeles. We are live with the latest.
And an out-of-control crash in Corona captured on surveillance camera. Details on the deadly chain reaction collision.
A nun is safe tonight after being carjacked and kidnapped from a car wash in South LA. Good evening, I'm Cher Calvin.
And I'm Glenn Walker. Micah Ullman has the night off. It all began at a gas station when the suspect walked in and tried to rob the clerk.
It appears
Golden West Broadcasters, Channel 5, KTLA, Los Angeles. This is Channel 5, KTLA, Los Angeles.
KTLA, Channel 5, Los Angeles.